This is the Uncommon Sense podcast with Chauntay. I'm here with my husband Johnny,
Hey,
and we're- so the purpose of the Uncommon Sense podcast with Tay and Tristan. Tristan is currently at work right now, but the name of it is the Uncommon Sense podcast with Tay and Tristan. I am here today with my hubby.
hey,
So we're talking about all things common and uncommon, um, kind of an array of topics, right, babe?
yep,
A little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Food, healthy
Oh,
lifestyles, marriage, relationships. Let's see what else.
you throw healthy lifestyles right out the window with me.
No, well, that's not true.
Yeah.
But the purpose of the podcast is to talk about everything that's frustrating, happy, sad,
Let's
just
talk.
life.
Let's
And
talk
then
about you. Let's talk
Oh,
about you.
so
You pretty.
what do you want to
You
talk
look
about
good
me
over
for?
there. Give me your phone
They
number.
can't see me.
Give me your phone number. I need your number.
No, no.
I can't believe we've been together 20 years.
We have been together 20 years.
Yeah.
It will be 20 years
20
in May.
years.
20 years in May. That's
Yep.
ridiculous.
My first wife couldn't handle it. Boy, this one did.
Yeah, we've had some,
Had her ups and downs. Mostly my fault.
for sure.
Well, well, at least we both could admit that. Yeah.
I meant like you took that.
Well, except once a month. You were kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, you kind of hit the jackpot with me. I'm just saying.
Oh, I sure did, didn't I?
You did.
Yes, I did.
And vice versa.
Why couldn't I wound up with you with money? You ain't got no money though.
I ain't got no money. I
But
work.
you got a good job,
I
girl.
work hard.
You got a good
Oh
job.
yeah. So yeah, I haven't like really told the
I'm-
listeners
I'm
like
on fixed
what I
income.
do. So yeah, I I am a certified addiction counselor
Yes.
in
Yes.
Jacksonville, Florida, which is where we're actually broadcasting our podcast from. So yeah, I'm a certified addiction counselor. I've been in the field
West
since
Side.
I've been in the field since 2015. And I'm actually coming up on 21 years of sobriety myself. Like in April next month, it will be 21 years that I have been sober.
I only got 6, so you know where the problem came.
Well, 6 years is still, like 6 years is still
I'm
good.
pretty proud of that.
Sobriety's not easy.
If I went to Missouri, I think I would do drugs. But since I'm in Florida, I don't even look for it. I don't know what it is.
Well, that and
Part of
then-
it's God. Part of
well, a lot of it is God.
Oh,
too.
yeah. I could have done this by myself.
Yeah, a lot of it's God. But I do think, I had part of that to do with like I gave you the ultimatum, like if you ever use again, it's over.
I didn't think
Do you
I
re-
didn't sign that contract.
Yeah. You signed that contract. We were at the altar.
Yeah. Yeah, I sure did. Didn't
You
I?
will do whatever I say when I say it. You just rebelled like a young teenager.
You can't say no to Chauntay.
Oh, you guys say no to me all the time.
Yeah, but we do it anyway.
How many times do I have to tell you to take out the trash?
Didn't have to last time. Didn't have to last week or the week before. I got it both times.
No, I think you.
I think I did. I don't know. I'm old.
I think. Tell people. So, yes, I'm a certified, we always get off topic. So, I am a certified addiction counselor in Jacksonville. I work for, I'm not going to say the company's name online, but I work for a company that provides services completely online.
And she's good at it too.
Well, thank you. That's completely virtual. So we're gonna kind of probably segue and hit into like some addiction topics, eventually on this podcast. And like I said, that incorporates healthy lifestyles. We're also gonna do. Tristan wanted to do some debate segments, so that's gonna be interesting. So we're gonna
Trump and Biden. That'll be a good one.
so not political debates, but we're gonna do
Oh.
some debates about pop culture, music, movies, things like that. So just kind of like some fun things, and if there's anything that people want to Whether put in comments that you guys want to hear, definitely, hit the like, subscribe, and, comment on anything that you want to hear. So, or discuss, and I'm open to that. So I think that's interesting. And that's kind of the podcast in a nutshell. I just wanted to do something different.
Oh, commercial break. Hey, Mark's Root Beer.
No. So tell them about you, Johnny, because you're not like a permanent, like fixture of the podcast, but you're going to be kind of in and out. So, and coming in from time to time.
I've been in and out my whole life.
so just so that everybody kind of knows a little bit about you. So just kind of, you don't have to go into like a long story.
Right, okay.
Just, intro yourself.
I was just a nice guy that had enough of everything and decided to change my life a little bit. And all of a sudden, when I'm thinking, I'm just going to make myself happy, Chauntay popped in my life and messed it all up. But it's the best thing that ever happened to me with Chauntay. The best thing. I've never laughed so much my whole life. I think I'm going to live to be 80 because of her.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I ruined
Because
your life.
you ruined my life. I'm laughing. I thought 62 would be it, but 67 and a half now.
Is it 67 and a half?
Yep. Yeah. Just like in kindergarten, I'm 5 and a half. 5 and a half.
You realize that I didn't say my age? I want people to guess my age.
40.
Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
I'll give him a hint. 4 sacks. Yeah, I'm kind of nasty.
Oh my gosh. So that's my husband. So now I think people will understand why you won't be on it.
No idea. Now you know why I won't be on it very much.
So yeah, so then we'll do and then we'll do another intro with Tristan. And Tristan is my son. Tristan is 23. And I basically, whenever I decided to do the podcast, I really wanted to do it for myself. Like, I just wanted to do something different. But I didn't want to do it by myself. Like, even if I had to talk, I wanted somebody to just be
You are
around.
cute.
So, stop it. So, I pretty much made my son do it. I think I shamed him.
But look who's here.
But look who's here.
Okay, yeah.
I
Holla.
I use shame. I use shame
Oh.
a lot.
She's good at it, too.
That's that mom and
My
wife.
mom could do that real well.
That's
Sorry, Mom.
Well, my mom shames me all
Oh,
the time.
gosh.
You might end up meeting her during this podcast.
When you meet her, you're going to go, that's another Chauntay. That's little Wanda.
I don't think so. But
I think so.
everybody uses mom shame and guilt on their kids, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, and
Chauntay brags about it before she does it. She goes, watch this. I'll get him to do it. I'll shame him into it. And walks back there and comes back so proud like that. See? I got it.
but I don't shame him into doing things that are bad. I shame
know,
him
yeah.
into spending time with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that could be good or bad. It kind of depends on the.
I don't blame Chauntay, man. I mean, I miss the kid, too. We don't. He's an adult now. He's got his own life to live, and
It's hard.
we don't like it.
It's hard whenever your kids grow up.
Oh, if you guys would have seen him when he was 4 years old, you would say, well, where he grows up, you know.
He's just like
He is a classic.
it's hard when your kids grow up. And I only
Oh.
have one.
And it's all of a sudden you look up and it's like, my gosh, he's taller than me.
It's how it is with all of your kids. I mean, you have 3 kids, Johnny.
I know.
I have 3 step children.
My kids are the age when I met Chauntay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, honestly, like let people know. I mean, we have 21 years between us. You're 21 years older than I am. So I basically went to school with
Yeah.
Johnny's kids.
Yes. They were in school together.
So, but I think I'm old. Are me and
No,
Justin,
I'm not on the offender list.
are me and Justin the same? Are we like the same age, or am I older than him?
I think you're older than he is.
I think I'm like a year older, right?
You're older.
So yeah, so I do beat them by a year. The oldest one by a year. So
I remember when they found out. I remember when they found out. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead.
I still remember when they found out they were trying to. I go, well, she went to Union. What was her name? Chauntay. Chauntay. Sounds familiar. Chauntay. And then Brandon looks up in the air and goes, oh, the girl that always sat beside in the cafeteria besides the potato bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I said, I sat there because I was probably stoned. 'Cause
Eating potatoes.
I had the munchies.
Me, it was always cookie dough and cake batter. With her, it's potatoes.
But what I find so funny about that story, I don't know if you remember this. No, what I find funny about that is, like, that's the one thing he remembers about me. I'm like, okay, that's kind of random, like a random memory, but I guess okay. And then what I found funny was that whenever we were on a date, and I think we were going downtown to St. Louis or something. We were going somewhere, probably going to eat. And then I didn't know, I hadn't put together that they were your kids. And I was talking about like
Yeah.
people that I was going to school with. What I found funny is like Johnny didn't say, "Hey, wait a minute, those are my kids. That's my son we're talking about." No, Johnny didn't say that.
Then she puts two and two together.
I was like,
wait
Bunch.
a minute, Bunch.
I was like,
oh,
Bunch.
Bunch.
I was like, oh my gosh. And he sat there and I was like, okay, so this guy is like not gonna want to date me anymore. I was like, okay, I just pretty much was talking about how his kids were mean to me.
Well, they were worried about. Let's see, his wife
That's so funny.
got there was some little girl
That picked on
picked on her,
wife.
and they
Yes.
thought it was her.
They thought it was me.
Yeah, they thought it was you
me.
until they
That
saw
was
you.
the bully.
When they
Yeah.
saw you, it's like, oh, it's just Chauntay. Oh, it's okay.
They thought it was me that was
Yeah.
bullying her,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
And I can't remember that girl's
That's what they were worried
name.
about. I can't remember either.
It was not me. I'll just tell you, I was never a bully. But it was just interesting though, because that's like our
It wasn't her. Never met
story,
the girl.
like of how we met. It was so crazy. Yeah. It's so funny because
Always a white and black thing. All the time. Always a white and black thing. And
but you have to think about it like that though, because I think
my problem is I
like-
don't see it, and then I take you to places you shouldn't be.
oh my
back
gosh,
then.
we were going play. I was
You
like,
know, I
babe,
just never
can't-
saw it,
I was
you
like, babe, I can't go there. You were like, yeah. I'm like, I can't go there, honey.
It's my
because
place, you know.
But they could beat you and go hang me from a tree. I mean, I remember when we went to the bar in Sullivan, and I
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah.
why are we here? I was like, Johnny, I cannot go in there. You're like, no, it's cool. I'm like, no, it's not. And then, of course, what happens? So we walk in, and here's all these guys that are hitting on.
Hitting on my wife, hitting on Chauntay, and hitting on my daughter. I'm walking up there with drinks. Hey, guys, come on. Here, come
This
on.
was years ago.
I remember you in school.
I remember you.
I remember you in school.
I was just like, wow, okay. And then, but I was still watching my back. But I still had to remind you. And I think I still do. I think I still have to remind you of that. That there's certain places, like, we can't go there.
Yeah, I like at Waffle House in Alabama at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Well, was it 2 o'clock in the
It was
morning?
about 2 or 3
It was
o'clock in the
late.
morning. It was late.
So all I did, Johnny's like, no, I'm hungry. I want to go to Waffle House. And I'm like, babe, look at the surroundings. I was like, there's not one black person in there. I was like,
Well,
I
I
don't
wouldn't-
like the look of anybody in there. I
Well-
was like, I don't think so.
I didn't notice anything until I pulled up and saw him. And I thought, oh, okay, we'll just get on going. There was,
I was
just
like,
go
we
ahead and leave.
cannot.
I never saw a Klan meeting on one place in my whole life.
No, I was like, we can't do
Those
this.
Proud Boys were there.
But you would think that even after all of the years of like,
She's
You would-
Chauntay. She's just Chauntay. She's mine. That's all.
well, I know, but I mean, you would think after all these years that I get it. Like, people are just like, no, you should not date interracially. I get that. I respect people's opinions on that.
There's a lot of
that's
problems.
just-
There's a lot of
but
problems.
there's a lot
with
of
that.
problems that come
But
with it.
it
Though.
takes-
There is.
But
You have to be willing to deal with it if you're
Yeah.
going to be in an interracial relationship. If you're not, and I don't know if you were really ready. I don't think you knew everything, even despite our age difference. And you've gone through and you went through the race
I went
riots
through the
like in
race riots. Yeah,
school,
yeah.
back in the
Oh yeah, I had
1960s
a
and
I
stuff.
had a school I had a school book. I pictured all these guys I was going to come back when I was adult and going to kill them.
Yeah.
That's how much I hated. Oh my gosh, it was bad back then.
But then even going through that, and then you still ended up marrying somebody outside of your race, but it seems like I don't know if you were really ready for that.
God's a jokester. That's all.
No, I'm serious.
I'm serious too, man. He's gonna
I don't
watch
think,
this. I'm gonna get these two together. It's gonna be the best thing you ever saw.
but
Watch.
were you really ready? Because were you really ready to be in a relationship with a black woman?
Yeah, I was when I saw you.
But were you ready to put up with everything?
I did.
But were you mentally and emotionally ready for it? There's a
I didn't
difference.
mentally, emotionally knew what was going on. I just knew this girl with this tan with no panty lines, bra lines going out with me, and she's pretty. And she could dance, make me look good on the dance floor and everything. She could
But you're
cook.
looking superficially, though.
I don't care. And you was sweet. You had a sweetness about you. And it didn't take much to please you. All I had to do was
No.
open the door for you. And you're like, ooh, oh, scoot a chair in for you. You just fell in love with that. I thought, man, I could do this.
I was like, ooh, penny dropper.
I could do this. Let you take my car somewhere. And I never let nobody. So I knew I was ready for a relationship. I'll let you take my car while I was at work.
Man, I had to fight off his ex-girlfriend. I didn't fight them off, but they were talking smack about me for sure back then. That was a long time ago. Long. And I'm sure they're probably like, oh my gosh, he's still with him?
He's still with him? What the heck?
Why?
I would have cheated on him in a week.
But here's the thing. Like, there were rough times for sure. And,
Yeah, Arcadia wasn't too nice.
but no.
But
That was
But
terrible.
God
I told
makes a
you.
bad thing and turn it into good. He got us to Springfield. I had 21 job interviews. I got the pick of the job.
But we
We
went
did.
through it.
We went through it. We went through it,
Gosh.
and we've been through it. So nothing phases us.
Not anymore.
Nothing phases us.
Not yet.
But we know. I mean, yeah,
Not yet.
yeah. If I get lung cancer or something, it's gonna be a different
Oh my
story.
gosh, don't say that.
But I'm thinking, hey, I got God on my side. If I go, I go. I mean, I don't know.
No, I just think that
Getting
it's
off topic here.
no, but I just think it's interesting though because
I'm not scared like I used to be.
I don't know.
Well, I wasn't scared. Well, really, I wasn't scared back then because you get in situations like, oh, this could go real south. And it's like, well, let's see what happens. From not giving a crap to caring is different.
Well, I think that's whenever people have to change from the inside out.
I don't even have
So-
the mouth I used to have.
Yeah, you kind of do. It's just not you
When I'm
do
mad.
when you're mad.
Well, when I didn't pick up that $100, I was pretty. I was
my-
mad at myself.
Another side of you came out that I had not seen for a really
Long
long
time,
and I was
yeah.
just like, okay, so that's still in there, but I could
yeah,
understand
it's just like,
the,
yeah.
but that didn't. It wasn't like,
I was mad at myself.
yeah, it was being mad at yourself.
I was so
Yeah.
put out at myself.
And I think too, and it goes back to it kind of jumping like to the society we live in too, because like for me, like I would if somebody left behind $100 and they didn't grab their cash from the Walmart thing, from
Yeah.
the register, I would be like, oh hey, here's your money. I wouldn't feel right keeping money that I knew
Right.
was not mine.
Right.
But somebody saw that money. And we were not that far away,
Oh, yeah.
and they knew,
They
I'm
knew.
sure that it was yours.
Oh, yeah,
And
they
so
knew.
instead of them saying, hey, sir, you left your money,
Yeah.
they took that money,
Which they have done in Springfield. Stop. Oh, sir, you're 20.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bud.
Yeah. They do not do that out here.
No, out here they don't. No, they split it. There was
Jacksonville,
two
Florida.
guys there. There was two guys there handling. Okay, here's my half. Here's yours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They
That's
took
what happened.
that money.
I had no proof of it, but somebody got it.
I'm sure that they did. But then you have to,
But
you think, is there somebody who needed that money?
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that. I might be the first person to go, man, I hope we got enough money for all this. Oh, we do now. Let's go back out there and shop,
Yeah. I mean, who knows why
You know,
those things happen.
I mean, you never know.
You don't
Yeah, it might
know.
be God's way. He'll get over it. He's gonna blow up, but he'll get over it. Come on, he needs it.
You never know what will happen and why it happens, and that's what I
Yeah.
told you. But in that moment, Johnny, you were not even angry. That was rage.
Oh yeah, it was rage. I was mad at me.
It was rage.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because mom, it wasn't funny you were feeling that way, but mom was in the car with us
Everybody
too.
was quiet.
And I was just like, and I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I've heard this for years. I remember hearing you like that for
All the time.
years. And I was just like, I can't deal with this. It kind of took me back to a place
Oh
where I was
yeah.
at like my limit. I think it probably took me back to a place where I probably served you with divorce papers a couple times.
Sign the papers, okay.
I think so. Remember whenever I had mentioned something, I probably posted something on social media a long time ago and Brandon saw it.
What? You putting shit on social media?
I think it was a long time ago. Remember we were at
I'm
the
out of here.
No, we were it was a long time ago whenever your niece got married. Remember? And he saw Brandon had mentioned something where he saw something. I didn't mention I was going to divorce you, but I mentioned I was venting or something like on Facebook. And
You don't
Brandon may have
vent on
seen it.
Facebook.
And I think he may have saw it and then he was
Oh
probably
yeah, he's
like,
the biggest instigator around. Find
you're
something
gonna
he goes
you're gonna
with.
leave dad?
We don't want him. You gotta keep him. We don't want
That's why
him.
they're always like, oh, she's true blue.
Oh yeah.
Keep
Man, he's gonna wind up with us if anything happens.
No, but that was a long time ago. But I do remember him saying something because we were not getting along then. There were times where we were just not getting along, and I was seriously gonna divorce you. I was
I
seriously
was,
gonna divorce
there
you.
was a time I thought,
It's
yeah,
over.
well, it's over. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on
There were
riding,
times
doing
where you
drugs.
told me to leave you,
Yeah.
and then whenever I was like, "All right, I'm done," then but
Come on back.
you manipulated it though. You
Uh,
manipulated the situation
that's
like
right.
the guilt and shame. You were
That's
like,
right.
I don't blame you if you leave me. Now, if I would have left you, what did I compare you to?
I don't know.
I compared you to gum on a
I didn't
shoe.
know this was gonna be a put down session here. Gum. Now I'm a gum on my shoe. Can't get rid of it. It won't come off. I'm just tracking it everywhere I go.
But I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Y'all can go to hell.
I think a lot of people. No, I don't mean it in a bad way. It's
No
just
matter what, it gets turned around where I'm the bad guy.
No.
I'm always the bad. Look out for the bad guy. Bad guy coming through.
But I don't mean it that way. I mean it just.
All right, let's talk about the way I am now.
But this is what I'm saying. I was going to segue into that. You didn't let me finish.
I know. I don't care. I'm tired of hearing about that part. I hate that part of my life.
But that
Hate that
but
part of
this
my
is
life.
how like people change when I'm talking about people change from the inside out. Like there's external factors and things that happen that make people change. Like sometimes
You get
it's
lost.
out of your control and you're forced to change.
Yeah.
But even when those things happen, though people have to learn how to change from the inside. Like your heart has to change, and only God can change someone's heart. Like we can try to say, "Oh no, that person changed me." No, God is changing you. There's something more powerful than you that has to change your heart.
If you want it.
Yeah, I think there has to be something inside
I think
of you
sometimes.
that wants to change.
I believe sometimes you're chosen, but I think sometimes you're calling out to God like, I've had enough of this. Jesus, please help me. I don't know what to do.
I think so too. I think so. Yeah.
They say, yeah, you're chosen. Okay, and it says in the Bible, yeah, God chooses you. He knew ever since you was born, all this. Okay.
Yeah.
But he wants you to go out and preach the world to everybody.
Very true.
So that means, somebody hears the word, I'm going to go. Maybe that's God's way of choosing people. He wants you to preach somewhere so he could choose these people. Maybe so. I don't know. It's not like, but that goes into doing things. It's just,
But
the
the
Bible's
fact
so crazy.
but the fact that you're even talking about it is not something that you would have been talking about probably 8 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. You were very like, I don't know about my faith. That's where you were, because I remember us having a lot of conversations about where does my faith, why are, and you will still kind of. I don't think you question it as much as you used to question it.
Yeah.
Like it's, and this is where like
I hate
people.
to say it, but they're right. The more you read the Bible, I mean, especially that whole New Testament, but then Psalms and Proverbs, the more you read it, if you read it every day, it does something to you. I don't
Yeah,
know why, but it's like
yeah, it
things
does.
ain't that bad.
Yeah, it does.
Things aren't that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Things, things are going to happen, whether you like it or not.
Not. Yeah,
And it's all in how you handle it. Now,
I agree.
I got to, and there's a lot of you out there that would admit you spend, $100 cash to send to your mom,
I agree.
and then you forget. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I didn't
agree with
sit
that.
there on the pity pot and boo hoo hoo. I was mad at myself. I was mad, and I had to get it
Yeah,
out, so I got it out, and there was people around that noticed it. So,
yeah, I
in the
agree.
car, I had to get it out. So it was the people I should have blowed up at myself about because they could handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else, they would have called a cop on me if I was out in public doing that. Like if I'd have went back there, and there's no reason to go back there. If I went back there, I just knew.
Mm-hmm.
Why make a fool of yourself? Get arrested and all this.
Well, yeah, you
When
don't
you
need
could just
to.
rant and rave all the way home till you got over it.
Yeah,
And apologize after I did. It's like I was mad at myself for losing that money because it's my fault, and I was mad at myself for blowing up. I
yeah,
could have handled it better. It was a test from God, and I failed.
yeah.
Ta-da,
Nice little bow on there.
ta-da.
Ta-da! Well, I mean, those things happen,
But
you
I
know.
mean, I wouldn't have married me.
He says that a lot.
I would not have married
Do
me
you know I've had people that I haven't had people that have asked, but you've asked me that question. You have been like, "Why did you marry me?" And I'm sure a lot of people can
because I
think like,
was nice to her.
"Why do we marry the people that we marry?" Because like the longer we're with somebody, well, I think people stay in they kind of go back to like the honeymoon phase, like whenever they first met somebody. Like whenever I first met you, like I couldn't get enough of you. Like
Yeah,
that's how I
yeah,
felt,
yeah,
and it was kind
yeah.
of just but
Always on your mind.
everybody has that honeymoon stage. Like that's and you should have that attraction. It's not only a physical attraction, but there should be like an emotional connection as well. But after we were together for years, I still did. I still loved you. And I still love you, but it's different. Like the longer you're with someone, the type of love you have for each other deepens. And so it just doesn't. I mean, we're coming up on 20 years that we've been together. That's the longest relationship I have ever
Oh,
had.
me too. I don't know how this worked. And it had to be from God. God did this. God has done this.
It's been like a
But I tell you the truth, and I know it sounds racist, however you want to take it, go ahead and take it. I've liked black girls since I was a little kid.
I know.
I mean,
You've told me that a lot.
they just glow. There's something about black girls. They're just beautiful. They're just beautiful.
You should say black women,
Black women. No,
Not a-
they were girls when I was a kid.
but you should say there's something beautiful about black
Black
women.
women. They're phenomenal. They are phenomenal.
Phenomenal woman.
I mean, they're, they got, I mean, they're stress resistant and everything.
I don't know about
Now
that.
you make one mad. Whew.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because I think
Chauntay fooled me. She didn't do the, when I met Chauntay, I'm thinking, oh yeah, boots with the fur, apple bottom jeans. No,
nothing like that.
Chauntay was not like that. She didn't say tooth. She didn't do ebonics. I mean, she didn't. She was
Oh my gosh, Grandpa
adult.
hated it.
She was adult, where people would look at them like, you guys ain't black.
We had that a lot whenever we went down to like U City and
Yeah.
St. Louis. Like they did. They were like, y'all are not from around here. It's like, no, we are country black people.
I just,
That's just how we were. But
and
that's
I hate
just how we were
talking
raised.
about. I
But
hate talking about
But
it
that's the
because
thing, like that. This is the conversation that a lot of people don't like to have. This is the conversation where
yeah,
people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's so politically incorrect. You should not talk about these things." Why not? Because
yeah,
this is what people are talking about behind closed doors. These are the things that people are talking about whether you believe it or not. I mean, that's what people are talking about. You just don't hear it. They talk about it among themselves all the time. They do. But I don't know if it's just black women that are stress resistant. I think there's a lot of white women, Asian.
They,
There's a lot. Everybody. I
there's a
think that they relate
class.
it. I think they relate it to the culture because of African Americans being in slavery for years and
Yes,
years and
yes,
how
and
they
they
are
can
resistant.
tolerate
They
stuff.
can tolerate a lot of things, but you we but I mean, and I think they attribute
Unfair
it
is
to
unfair.
I think they attribute it to that. And then I think there is a distortion in that perception because they think because your ancestors went through that, then black people can handle anything, which is not always
Yeah,
true.
that's not always true either.
It's not always
It's
true.
it's just who you are. It's who you are. And
Everybody has a different personality in the way that they handle
I tell you
life.
what, though, I mean, there's a lot of people that were slaves and they believed in Jesus that whole time, and Jesus was going to deliver them just like the Israelites were delivered. And that's faith. That
That is
is
faith.
faith.
Yes,
That is hard faith.
absolutely. It is faith. Yeah, yeah. We should have
I mean,
faith that we're going to be delivered from difficult times. People should have faith in
I mean,
Jesus
this
Christ. People should have faith in God. Um.
this is a country that if they had the chance, they'd go right back to it.
Oh
This is the
yeah.
kind of country, yes.
Oh yeah.
There are
There's a
people waiting
lot.
for the day.
There's a lot of and this is the conversations people don't want to have.
Racism.
But
I mean, my
it
gosh.
it will never go away. And a lot of people were like, I think they thought a lot of it would change with Obama being elected president, but
Yeah.
no.
No.
I mean, no. I mean,
No,
yeah,
it made it.
you had people that were, I think, ready for that.
Yeah.
They
They
wanted
wanted a
something different.
change.
They did. And whether you agreed with his politics or not, the fact that America, it just goes to show that America can do anything. And I'm proud to be an
Yeah.
American. I'm proud to live in America. I'm proud of the freedoms that I have, that I can get up and I can
Uh,
go whenever I want, that we can have this conversation and not be jailed for it yet. Um,
it's cheaper, but I'm telling you, it's
but
cheaper in other countries. It's just as beautiful.
it's
And they're
cheaper to
cheap to
live.
live and everything. I mean, I could live on my income over there.
Yeah. I think that, but I'm happy being in America.
Insurance, everything.
I love America. I love being. I'm so grateful that I was born in the United States of America.
Yeah. To
I
a certain,
really am, and
yeah.
I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
sometimes
Yeah, we take it for
we
granted.
take our daily lives for granted and our daily freedoms for granted because there's a lot of people that can't even talk like we're talking right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
You
There's a
know?
lot of things wrong, and there's a lot of abuse and stuff that goes wrong. A
Yeah.
lot of racism and everything, but we still got some choices we can make.
Everybody has. Yeah, oh yeah.
You
People
know,
can change,
in China, you ain't got no choice.
right?
In
A lot of countries
Korea,
you don't.
North Korea, you have no
You ain't got no
choice.
choice.
And
No,
you know, if you do anything wrong, it's double down on you.
they'll kill you.
I mean,
They'll
Russia,
kill you.
yeah,
Or jail
Russia.
you,
No,
and then you'll end
no,
up
you're
dead in
going.
jail. I
There's a
mean,
guy here that's probably good at computers. No, you're going to pick potatoes. That's what you're going to do.
yeah, exactly.
Now put on your jumpsuit and pick potatoes.
Yes, I mean that's that.
Telling me what to do? Oh,
No,
but
but that's what I'm saying. Like we take so many of these of our freedoms and liberties for granted,
yeah,
and you're right. I think if people could go back to having slaves, possibly,
yeah.
but no, but here's the thing, though. There's still slavery today. It's just not limited to African Americans.
No,
They do it with kids, women.
they do it in school, college.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do this? You got to do an internship.
Yep. There's all different forms of slavery. We're all slaves to something. Think about it. I mean, like, really think about it.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody has free will to work and do things. We have to live. I get it, but we're slaves to a lot of different
but in
things.
this country, if you do one thing wrong, one thing, and you ain't got enough money for a lawyer, you're in trouble
Well,
for the rest of your life.
or
That's,
if you don't have the money,
that's why I
if you're
said,
not,
if you ain't got a good lawyer.
if you're not rich, you're kind of like,
Yeah.
or if you don't have a lawyer in the family
I mean,
with connections, you're just screwed. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
pretty much how it is.
I knew a guy that had 4 DWIs. He was on his fourth one. And then there was a meeting, we had all these meetings, because I'm on probation. I had to go to this, drug thing. And he was there and he was talking about it. He got a phone call. I was sitting right there next to him. He goes, man, I got to go. I got to go. If I come up with 10 grand by morning, this goes off my record.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about money, people. I'm telling you. There's proof. That was the proof right there. I know the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to ask if I could say his name. I have to have permission from him. But
Yeah, we probably have been saying people's names,
Yeah,
and we
he-
have to.
But this guy owns a lot. He manages a whole bunch of these little
Yeah.
places, and the manager is a friend of his, or the boss of all these places is a friend of his, and he
Yeah.
gave him 10 grand cash that night. He came there with 10 grand cash to his lawyer, and it was eliminated.
Yeah. Money
Eliminated.
money talks.
Money talks. The man should have gone to prison. But I'll
I
tell
don't
you
even
what,
know if you should be talking about that on this podcast.
I don't care. What can they do to me? Can't sue me. I'm
You
retired.
never know.
Can't sue me. I'm retired.
No, but you're right.
No,
though.
but I mean, you want to know how crooked it is around here.
But no, you're right though. Like everything.
Money talks, bullshit walks.
But yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. It's like if you
Yeah.
have money, you're going to.
Oh yeah. If I ever won the lottery, the first thing I would do, if I had won $5 million, first thing I'd do is I'd have me a lawyer on retainer for $1 million right off the bat.
Yeah, you would probably want to have a lawyer.
You want
Maybe.
a lawyer. You want a lawyer where all you have to do is phone him. Hey,
But you
come
want
get me.
you want a good lawyer.
Yeah.
But
You want a good lawyer.
But that's the
Johnny
thing,
Cochran.
though. But you wouldn't be in a place where you would. Hopefully,
No,
you
I wouldn't need one. I wouldn't need one.
You know,
now.
if anything, like if you had people that were trying to sue you, you would more or less need like a corporate tax lawyer.
Well, there was a
Or
there was a
something, like,
time when
you need a tax lawyer or something like
when
that.
I was running wild.
You know?
When I was running wild, I thought, yeah, if I had money, I'd have a lawyer on retainer on my phone, and I would just drive 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're not
You
gonna
know,
need anything like that.
And I don't need that
no.
no more.
No,
No.
you don't need anything
No.
like that anymore.
So really now, I don't. $1 million, I just give it to all of my kids. Make sure everybody was all right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Give a lot of it away. Build, since they won't do it around here, I would, if I had the money, I'd build something for these homeless people. And yes, I know that you take advantage. They'll take, but good grief. They need
I
some
don't know
help.
if they
There's some
do.
of them out there that would appreciate.
Yeah, that's gonna be in the background. Stop messing with the wire.
Well, I'm
See, I have to
nervous.
tell-
I'm nervous, and I want to shut up. And I wish you'd talk because I feel like I'm.
Well, I'm
rattling.
trying to talk, but you keep on talking, and
Okay,
you're
well,
trying to.
Then I'm done. Goodbye.
No, you are making some really good points. So no,
Really? I don't think I am. I think I'm just rattling.
it's a podcast. Don't worry, we're going to be wrapping up here in about
Know
20
any
minutes.
jokes? You know any jokes?
No. That's okay. So I have never been able to tell jokes. I have this type of personality where
She don't even laugh at jokes. She's like, what? Oh, okay. Now I know. No, that wasn't a good joke.
no, I do laugh at jokes. I laughed at a really corny joke on an episode of Frasier.
She is Frasier.
And it was pretty. It was just. I won't even say the episode names or anything, but he kind of.
Right over my head.
It went right over Johnny's head, and he was just like, "Why is that funny?" And I'm sitting there cracking up, explaining it to him, and he's still looking at me like I'm crazy. So I laugh at corny things. I laugh at things that, but it's all in good fun.
She's a sweetheart.
I don't know any jokes, and I don't tell jokes. But I have this personality where I'll just say things, and maybe a certain way that I say them is funny to people, and I'm not trying to be funny.
I'm going back to Cali.
And
Cali.
I'm more of an action, like I'm more of a like I'll dance
You little
randomly.
show off, yeah.
I'll dance randomly, and
Yep.
and on camera, it's kind of like when I'm on camera, I like show out, but I'm
Yep.
not like a entertainer in any way.
And I'm sitting there looking at her like, I got to deal with this now. I got to deal
But
with this.
I'm just the type of person that I really love to laugh and enjoy.
She makes you
life.
laugh. Chauntay can make you laugh.
I want to laugh. And life is just too short. I mean, that's another reason why I I wanted to do the podcast, and I think people need to step out and start doing things that they really want to do.
Yeah.
And you are not promised tomorrow.
Nope.
And
No, you're not.
those things that, and there's like, oh, I wish I would have done. I wish I would have done. And no, like you showed me that. Like, Johnny pushed me to go to college. He apologizes for that now
Oh yeah,
because I'm
I
like
feel so bad for
in
her.
my last year
She's
at
been
Florida
through
State
hell.
University in my master's program I'm going for my master's of social work, and I work full time, and now I've just now started a podcast. So it's kind of I think I tried to do too many things, and but it's just living life though. I just it's just something I wanted to do. I just something I wanted to do. But no, to answer your question, I don't know any jokes. Um, you know, it just kind of.
She can act a fool. I love it. She can
I love
act.
to dance.
She loves it.
I love
Even when
to.
she cleans house and cooks, she's dancing. Yeah.
Oh, you have to.
Smile. She's got a smile as wide as a truck, and I love that smile.
But that's just.
I love her smile.
You have to do those things because listen, everything that's going on in the world will just make you cry. If you're not laughing, you're crying.
Yeah.
And I don't want to cry. I've cried enough in my lifetime.
Yeah.
About a lot of different things that I needed to cry over, and then there's things in life that I shouldn't have been crying over at all, where I just needed to pick
Like
up
spilt milk.
and just take, and just move on. Yeah, like past relationships and people that I think now, like, why was I crying over that person?
Why did I take Johnny back? Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, why did I?
God,
take
he's
Johnny
still
back?
here. He won't leave.
All
He won't leave.
all he does is lay around, but he's
There are
retired, so he
Two
can't.
channels.
But this is interesting though too, because now that I work from home, like I've always worked outside of the house, and so I've just been working from home for almost a year now, and it's the first like full time job that I've had where I'm completely working from home. And I thought, man, it's gonna be great. I remember thinking, man, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna be working from home. I get up and take my breaks, go eat, and I'm just around my family, which is a blessing. It's fantastic. But the transition was a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. What? Why are you laughing?
Nothing.
Why are you laughing about that?
You got me as a pain in your ass all the time now. I can't get a job because I'm on probation. I got a criminal record. So out here in Florida, you have to tell them that you're a criminal.
Is that why you're thinking like I'm like the transition is more difficult? No, it's not you.
No, the transition is I'm around all the time. When I wasn't around, she was mad. Gonna divorce his ass. He's out doing drugs, everything, just blah, 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 blah. And now I'm home all the time and she's mad. I can't win for losing sometimes.
But I'm not mad.
It's a good mad though. It's a good mad.
It's a good mad.
Hey, you got something to do?
It's no, okay, so this is what happened. So all of my no, the transition, I'll get to that in a second. Just let me go through it. So the transition was I'm gone from the house. I went from being gone from the house for a total with drive time and then work, working 10 hours a day, and then driving a half hour there and back both ways or whatever. So I'm gone for like, 11, 12 hours away from the house. 4 days a week and to do that. And then I had with school too. And so I was like, okay, I was just always here, but not here. So then whenever I get this job, I'm here all the time and I'm just kind of in my room / office now / podcast studio. And so now, I'm home. I've got my laptop, my screen that's been provided by my company. And I see people virtually for group therapy and individual therapy. So when I'm working, like the door's closed all the time, and then I'll hear like I'll hear, and then I'm like, and then he looks because whenever he sees my face on the big screen means I'm waiting for a client to show and log into the Zoom meeting, right? And so then he's like, oh, and then I hear him And then Drika's always with him. Our little dog, our little puppy dog, our Shih Tzu Yorkie looking dog, right?
Let's go see mommy.
So he's always telling her, "Oh, let's go see mommy." And then of course,
Yeah.
Drika gets all excited, and then you hear the door ring, and then it's like, and I just look behind me just for a second, and there's just a little crack that I see, and then he sees my face on the screen, and he's like, "Oh, Drika, nope, we can't. Mommy's gotta wait. Mommy's waiting for somebody." And so I hear that off and on all day
Like-
long,
like-
all day long, every day.
Oh man.
So then, whenever he sees that I'm not, he's like, "Okay, yes, we have time." And then he gets mad, and he'll sit down on the futon in here, and then I'll be like, "Babe, I got like 2 minutes before somebody else is on my schedule." And then he's like, "Damn it!"
It's all about them, ain't it? It's all about them.
And so, and then whenever I'm done with work at the end of the day, you're always like, "Well, come here, spend some time with me." And I'm like, "We have been together all day long. All day. You will still act like we don't have any time together."
Well, yeah.
So, what are you going to do whenever I'm gone
Oh, I don't know.
for my
I don't
internship later
know.
this year?
I have no idea. Turning yourself
For me,
on.
it's going to be like, "Oh, I'm gone
Yeah.
for one day."
Oh, I'm away from everybody. Me and the dog will be there when you come back.
With their tails shaking their both.
Guess who's here? Mommy is.
You'll be out
Yeah.
there, shake a tail feather, shake a tail feather.
You'll be hearing us. Okay.
Oh my gosh,
Mommy's
it's
home.
gonna be amazing. But no, I mean,
I'm gonna take care of you though.
it's been a
It's gonna be rough on you.
It's gonna be rough because I'm working. I'm gonna be breaking it down to working 4 days a week, full time, 10-hour days, and then I'm gonna be doing one full day, and then I'll still have like trainings and things I'll have to do at this other place I'm interning at, for mental health. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting, but in the end, it's all gonna be worth it. So I'm very excited.
I'll tell you right now, she is a good counselor. Not because she's my wife. I mean, she's very caring. I mean, you listen to her talk and you'll want to do this. She gets you to want to do this and try. And she's right there. She's your buddy, man. She's your buddy.
I try to.
She's good.
I just want to.
She is good, and she'll tell you when you're full of crap too. Well, she does it to me all the time.
No, I tell them. I don't tell the clients like that because you're dealing
But
with
she's
people
yeah,
with
but she's
different
dealing. She
personalities.
knows what she's dealing with, and they're all different personalities, and she gets along with them. They want to come back to her. All of them do. She's a value to this place. Chauntay's a
I
value.
love what I do. You have to love what
Yeah.
you have to have a passion.
She was born to do
So the
this.
thing with like counseling or psychiatry or psychology or whatever, like especially to work in the field of addiction and mental health, you really have to want to help people because it's so the field is so challenging. And there have been days in the past where I'm like just mentally and emotionally drained. And this is why it's really important for therapists and counselors to do self-care.
but-
And they encourage them to also do counseling if they
Yep.
need to at a certain point. Yeah.
But these people that's looking for this counseling, they know they can't look at Chauntay and go, oh, she's just book smart. She's book smart. She's never done a drug in her life. Chauntay's been where they've been. Maybe
Yeah.
not that bad, but she's been there.
Everybody's had
She's
different
done some
experiences.
things.
Yeah.
She's got a story to tell, and they love to hear her story. And it's a good one.
Yeah,
Everybody's got a story.
has a story. I do use a little bit of self-disclosure because you're trying to build rapport with people who don't trust.
Right.
And it's just because and it's not with everyone, but I mean it's difficult whenever you've been in active addiction, whether it's alcohol or
Yeah.
cocaine or meth or prescription pills, whatever it is, or opiates. Or and then they've had like PTSD. There's a lot of people in the world that deal with sexual trauma, childhood, all
Yeah.
that stuff. And these are things that I'm also going to talk a little bit more, like we'll have topics on this throughout the podcast as well in other episodes. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where I tried my whole philosophy from a counselor is like I don't know. I don't go in thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to go in and save everybody." Um I do have some insecurities being a counselor because
She helps the
I
ones that want to be saved. She can help.
I don't, but that's the thing. I don't go into the mentality of I'm saving people. I go into the mentality of this is their
Be
recovery,
right back.
not my recovery.
Yeah.
Um it's you know, everybody has to have like a certain motivation to get sober. So for me, it's not really about um you know saving somebody else. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, this is your recovery. It's not mine. I can't work a program for you. But I can I'm here to guide, support, and help you when I can. And that's it. And um I tell them the consequences for not doing this, or not showing up for that, or whatever. And they get it. And then the rest of it's up to them. And that's the approach I take. Every counselor has a different approach. So some counselor they may, you know, really connect with, and not everyone that I work with connects with me. And that's okay. And I've come across that too. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just there's people that don't like me or don't think I know enough about what I'm talking about, or maybe they want more of the clinical stuff. They want more worksheets. They want, not saying I'm not clinical, but they want more structured worksheets and things like that. And I don't always do that. So, and if they want it, I try to tailor it to them. But, most of the people like to talk and they just want to be heard
Like me.
and supported.
Yeah, like me. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know, just like you. And no, and that's another thing
I'm
too.
doing
Is
that on purpose.
another thing too is like um they but I did have my counselor, my supervisor actually sat in and like observed my group last week, and I got good marks on it. But that just kind of goes to show you, like, during like that whole session, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna be in trouble because it seemed very chaotic, but it kind of wasn't. And sometimes I can question my skills being able to divert people.
Something about your boss. She could see the chaotic and how you handled it, and it's like that's good. Yeah, she did
Yeah,
good. She did good.
yeah. So kind of how you kind of have to redirect and divert people, with while also validating their feelings. So, and I learn more and more about this field, every single day. So yeah, I have my own personal experience with recovery and addiction and all of those things. Um, but I'm also learning a lot more of the diagnosis and all that interesting, those types of
Yeah.
things you need to know.
Chauntay, when she first started going to college, every week she'd have something that week, and she'd diagnose me every time. She diagnosed me every week. That's what you got. That's what you got. She'd be studying something that week.
I don't diagnose you anymore.
She don't diagnose me anymore. She knows me.
You're
I
too
told her
far
to do
gone.
that. Yeah.
You're too far
She
gone.
won't even. She won't even.
It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. So
What? What? You think I'm done?
no. So
I'm
any
toast.
last?
Are you saying I'm toast?
No, I don't think you're toast.
Huh? Let me bring out my inner feelings now.
What do you think about me? Diagnose me.
Okay, she's okay. I diagnose you.
Yes, try it.
Okay, like me. Somebody, you ever walk down? Back in the day, you walk down the road and somebody walks by you, and you both look at each other like, "Yeah, they do dope." You don't look that way. You may have one at one time, but you don't. I still do. I got the long hair and all this crap. But you're phenomenal. I'm telling you, I'm not sucking up to you because you
Look
make more
different.
money than me and everything, and I'm on fixed income.
I look different for sure.
You look different. You look together. I
It changes. You change,
You
but
changed, but God is doing this. God's
God
got the
changed
whole
me.
thing. God's got the whole thing. I
God
don't care what
changed me,
anybody
for
says.
sure.
God's got us
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I wasn't gonna change or get sober without God. That's true. That's absolutely true. I didn't do
She's
anything on my
tougher.
own.
She's tougher than I am.
I did nothing on my own. And I was at a place in my life where like I didn't know where to go for treatment. I had no job, no money, no insurance.
She had the love of her family,
I had the
though.
love of my family and I had God in my life, and that is how I got sober. And I never went to formal treatment, and I think I went to like my first NA meeting when I came out here to Jacksonville. and that,
Yeah,
and
it
I
was
had
on
already been
Thanksgiving.
sober, and
Yeah.
I had already been sober for multiple years. So, and
I,
and it's very interesting, but I still liked it, and I did even the virtual NA
I
meetings.
was just barely starting when I.
Yeah, and then I also still have the NA books. I read from the Just for
Yeah.
Today,
Oh, yeah.
and also being an addiction counselor and helping other people through it helps maintain
Yep.
that
Oh, and
sobriety.
that's true. That's
So
true.
it's a
It's like
part of
having a
it too.
sponsor. A
Yeah,
sponsor
yeah,
is kept clean because you have him for a sponsor.
yeah.
It all works. It all, and I
It all
used to
works.
laugh at that. I used to laugh at that. It don't work. It does work.
It all works. Yeah,
It
it
all
does.
works. I don't go to NA meetings now,
Yeah.
but I think I don't have the urge. Only they say you have triggers,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have triggers out here. The only time I had a trigger was when I had an MRI,
Mm-hmm.
and they put that stuff in my vein,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it had the vapors, everything, and it reminded me of that so much. And that was on my mind the whole time. What do? I mean, it's something I'd never really done. I knew I was having control of it because I went to an NA meeting and they asked, "Does anybody have a burning desire?" A burning
Mm-hmm.
desire is you're wanting to do, been thinking about dope. I raised my hand. By the time I put my hand down, I had a list of names that if I wanted to do dope, before I
Mm-hmm.
did it, I called the names and they would talk to you until you got over it.
Yeah.
I didn't call the names
Mm-hmm.
because I knew it was a trigger. I just did the routine of what you're supposed to do, and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, even though I didn't call nobody. I was fine. I had a wife that was here. It works.
Mm-hmm.
NA can work. What Chauntay's doing, her job works for people.
It
That
really
was
does.
that was the best thing they ever came up with was that online stuff.
Yeah.
That was the best thing because a lot of people don't want to be in a crowd. They can handle being in the
Mm-hmm.
sections,
Yeah.
Zoom. And I was that way too. I mean,
And a lot of people do like the Zoom meetings, but they do like in person, but this where I work at it definitely makes it like a lot easier because it is all online.
if you want to get clean, people will help you.
Oh yeah, there's
I
a
mean,
lot
the
of people
state
out there
will
though.
too. The state, if you went to a judge or, if you're in trouble, said, Your Honor, this all pertains to dope. I need help. What can I do?
It's almost kind of like throwing yourself on the mercy of the court
And
in that sense.
the
Yeah.
court will show mercy
Yeah, they do.
and they will bend over backwards for you.
Yeah. Yeah, they will.
Probation, everything. Now, you might have to do what you don't want to do. That might be going to rehab
Or drug court.
or drug court.
Hmm.
But it works.
But it's a program though too, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna have to. I think sometimes the hardest part for a lot of people is just kind of like this
The
accountability.
ones going through the program, the drug court,
Yeah.
that's pretty well saying, all right, we've tried everything. We've tried everything with you. Now you're going to do it this way. If you
Yeah.
screw up, you got so many times you can screw up, but when you screw up, it might be your last and you'll do time.
Yeah. It's very true. Yeah.
And a lot of them, they do time.
Yeah, they do.
And they got a lot of drugs in there too, and it's dangerous because everybody uses the same needle.
Yeah.
Everybody, they're just waiting to use that
And then they're
needle.
like, I don't know how I got Hep C or I don't know
Yeah.
how I got HIV. Well, that's
Right.
how you got it, And
I've seen people in jail that looked orange from Hep C.
yeah. Yeah,
I had Hep C, but it got took care of.
there's a lot of people I work with that deal with that, and it's all due to their substance use. And so there are things that like you definitely need to
Yeah.
be aware of. So I mean, I love what I do, and you have to, like I said, you really have to have a passion. You really have to want to help people. It doesn't mean like there aren't going to be days where you're
Oh yeah,
like,
you're ready
oh
to
my
give up.
gosh,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? But then you get grounded again because you hear somebody's story, or you hear like how, oh my gosh, I was struggling the other week and now this happened because I listened to you, or I did this, and they took advice from somebody else in the group, or whatever happened. but you hear their success story and you're like, oh my gosh, that's why I do what I do.
Especially when they say
I
it's
love
all
it.
because of you, Chauntay. You
Oh
got
my
me started.
gosh.
Yeah,
He's
they do the
just my
work,
biggest
but
cheerleader.
Chauntay was a good cheerleader.
He's
Chauntay
my
was
biggest
good.
cheerleader.
And
But
she
yeah,
beams with, she just beams and shines when somebody does that. I think it's so
I can
cool.
never say the names or anything like that,
Yeah.
but there was
She's
something
humble.
there
She's
there
humble,
was
but
something
she
that
shines.
happened where I was so happy and my husband was like, "What?" And I'm like, "I can't tell you." But it just was shown on my face and it was just like I was so
She
happy for this
cares.
person
She
because
cares.
they just didn't know from like the beginning into the last time I had seen them. It was like just to see the progress is amazing and I
Yeah.
love it.
And a
So
girl like Chauntay makes you want to. Yeah,
I
she's
don't know
got me.
about that.
She's got me here. You know, Chauntay, you do the work, but Chauntay is your cheerleader.
I'm the
She
cheerleader.
pushes it.
That's what I
She
do.
trusts you, and that's all they need is one person to tell them that.
I think it's
And
just being heard. People
yeah,
like to be heard,
they want to be heard. Yeah,
not judged, but they want to be heard, and they don't get that. There's a lot
no,
of people that I think there's a lot of that just in the world today.
use
People
and
talk
abuse.
and talk and talk, and nobody listens. So,
Yeah.
so we're coming up at time.
Oh, so
So I
if you
just
like
want
Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper's the one to get out of Barks Root Beer. Through the shout out there.
Shout out to Dr. Pepper.
And
That's what Johnny's been drinking on this whole time. And I did not have a drink today. Not meaning alcohol, but I did not have anything. I don't have anything to promote. But I did prior to the podcast.
that,
Use some Alicia
yes,
Keys and the Keys
oh
Soul Care
yes,
product. So
yes. She won't let me
I
use it.
used the Keys facial Soul Care facial cleanser, and I think it's like the butter like cream lotion. It's amazing.
Chauntay comes
And
out of that bathroom, she shines.
it is an amazing, amazing product. So if you guys do not have the Key Soul Care products or have not used them, please use them because they are absolutely amazing and I love them. And I'll have to give me some more stuff. So, so just to kind of recap, I know we talked about a lot today. I probably jumped all over the
Sorry
place,
for
but
rattling. It's my fault.
this is why it is called Uncommon Sense Podcast with Tay and Tristan because we're kind of a little bit all over the place. But it's all good. It's all good conversation. So next week we'll probably try to have it a little bit more structured. Or try to have it a little bit more structured, and we'll hopefully you'll get to get Tristan's introduction next episode. So
So
I just
WKRP is signing off. This is the
don't use
Doctor
their.
Johnny
You're
Fever.
gonna get us freaking. He's gonna get us sued by people, copyright infringement. Stop saying that stuff. But so just a reminder that this is the Uncommon Sense podcast with Tay and Tristan, but today it was Chauntay and Johnny.
So it
So
won't be too much of that.
but the Uncommon Sense podcast will be new episodes will be coming out every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, and 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we hope we're going to be our podcast will be on Spotify. We will be on our YouTube channel, and we will also have a link on Instagram. So, like I said, we're just kind of setting everything up new now. So we'll be promoting on those platforms. So on Instagram, YouTube.
We appreciate all your comments, as long as they're good.
too.
And if you got a good joke, tell it. And I might say it on this thing. So
So remember,
Chauntay lets me.
So remember, listen in on Spotify. Links will be on Instagram, and we'll have a YouTube channel that will be sending you guys all the links. So we appreciate everybody listening in today.
And God loves everybody. So
Yes, God bless to everybody. So thank you very much for listening.
peace out.